Previously on Gambit. Gambit teaches a young Ro the ways of the thief. During his teaching, we find out that the Shadow King really wants to take a hold of Ro, but that's for later. Leaving Cairo, Illinois, they get run off the road and they fall off the side of the cliff into the water below. They're helped by a woman named Marissa, and Ro is still knocked out, and Marissa says her mother is a doctor, all they need to do is go to her house. While knocked out, Ro enters the spectral realm and is trained by her ancestor named Ashake. A shake? Ashaki? Turns out Marissa is having problems with a man named Solarz, and it just so happens that Solarz's men are the same men that ran Ro and Gambit off the road. So Gambit does what Gambit does and throws kinetically charged cards at them, scaring the shit whistles out of them. Later on, Solarz has his men attack Gambit and Marissa, but we find out that Marissa is an ex-marine and can handle herself pretty well. While the fighting goes on, Evil Scary Guy watches from the shadows. Evil Scary Guy is named Warhawk, and he doesn't like Gambit and Marissa, so he picks up a car and throws it at them. Marissa sees the car coming right for them, tackles Gambit into the water, but it explodes, catching her house on fire. An awakened Ro, confused by being in a flaming house and seeing an old woman on the ground, decides to get out before they're burned alive. Ro makes it out of the house, but she's greeted by Solarz and Evil Scary Guy. She gets kidnapped. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Labs Comic Fan. I'm Steve, and today we're talking Gambit number 3. So I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. I thank you very much. And if you're not subscribed and you're watching and you love my face because it's great, it's really not. But if you like the show, try hitting the subscribe button. It helps out a lot. And for everybody else, put your thumbs in the upright position. All right, so before we get into Gambit number 3, I'd like to remind everybody on Christmas Day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing a live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm going to be talking about Christmases past that I had. You're going to want to hear some of these stories. I grew up in a massively fundamentalist Christian household, so you're going to want to hear some of these stories. It's just, some of them are hilarious. And we're also going to be talking some Christmas comics. We're going to go over some good ones, some bad ones, some ridiculous ones. I'm also going to probably give something away, but you have to be in the chat, and you have to be chatting to be entered to win. And I'm also going to open some presents and a bunch of figures and a bunch of cool stuff. We're just going to have fun. And even if nobody shows up, I'm still going to do it anyway because I enjoy me. Yeah, I'm just being dumb. Anyway, let's get into Gambit number 3. Gambit and Marissa are getting ready to rescue Ro and Marissa's mother, Gabriella. Marissa is wearing Gambit's bodysuit, and it's weird that it fits her perfectly. She can't believe he goes out dressed like this in public. Gambit thinks she looks great in it. Why did I ever let you talk me into wearing this? Instead of answering, Gambit turns and shoots her in the chest. Shocked and without words, Gambit tells her the reason you're wearing this is because it's bulletproof. Same goes for the headpiece. The best armor out there. A gift from a friend. And it's brightly colored because it makes an irresistible target when it comes to gunplay, which gives us a chance to get close enough to these idiots to clobber them. Just don't get shot, stabbed, or punched in the face. That won't go over well. Marissa wants to know why she's the stalking horse in this scenario. It's because she's a Marine. And fighting is what they do best, and he's the thief. So when she has their attention, he'll go in and get Ro and Gabriella out. Marissa says just one problem. What about the muscle guy? Well, if it comes to that, they'll have to take him down together. So Gambit and Marissa are getting ready to rescue Ro and Gabriella. And Marissa has on Gambit's armor, and it's really weird because it fits her perfectly. And with Gambit's trench coat on, I mean, it still looks ridiculous, but it looks less ridiculous than what she looks like right now. And she even makes a comment about it, like, how do you go out in public like this? This is unbelievable. She's also like, how did I talk you into letting me wear this? And Gambit does what any normal person would do by answering the question by turning around and shooting her in the chest. The bullet bounces off of her, and he says, that's why you're wearing it, because it's bulletproof. The same goes for the headpiece, but you gotta be a little bit careful not to get stabbed, punched, or shot in the face, because that will not work out for you.
She didn't listen.
The armor was a gift from a friend, and it's brightly colored so that it makes a great target for gunplay, so that you can get in close to the guys and clobber the crap out of them. Marissa wants to know why she's the stalking horse in this scenario. He says, look, you're an ex-Marine. That's what you guys do best, is hand-to-hand fighting. I'm the thief. I'm gonna go in while you're fighting everybody, causing a distraction, and I'm gonna go rescue Ro and your mother. Marissa says, yeah, that's good, but there's just one problem. What if we run into the muscle guy? And they're talking about Warhawk, and he says, well, if that happens, we're gonna have to take him down together. Over the next few pages, we catch up with Solarz and Warhawk. They're at Solarz's mansion, and he asks Warhawk, why do you look so worried? And Warhawk's like, I really wish we would have found the bodies. So if you remember from issue number 2, Warhawk threw a truck at them, and Marissa tackled Gambit into the water, but all they saw was the truck explode. They didn't find the bodies. And Solarz is like, so what if they're alive? We have the mom and the girl. And Warhawk looks at him like an idiot, because he is. And he says, dude, the woman is a Marine. And the other guy, he has superpowers. Solarz says, hey, that's what I hired you for, situations like this. Did I make a mistake? Warhawk's like, the ex-Marine, no problem. But the Cajun, and before he can even get out any more words, the alarm has been tripped. They are under attack. Warhawk has some men stay with Solarz and the prisoners, and he says, nobody gets in here but me. So this is kind of cool. Ro and Gabriella are in the spectral realm. I don't know kind of how Ro was able to bring her there, but she did anyway, and Gabriella is freaking out. And Ro's telling her, like, look, I brought you here to protect you, like Ashake did for me. But she notices that it looks different. It's not the same as before. Something has changed. Ashake says she is but a teacher. She can train Ro how to best face the challenges ahead. Or not. And I thought that was great. Or not. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just crazy, weird grandma ghost that trains you and stuff.
Mentor Ashake. Dick.
The Ro starts freaking out when she looks up and sees these eyes and a mouth, and she's like, is that me? Ashake tells her that she can fight or yield. This is destiny. It is life.
Marissa jumps down on the two men and starts to go to work, kicking ass left and right. She thinks back to her father and how both of them were born for the Marines. Natural's at it. She doesn't see the sniper as she cuts through the thugs. But right now, in Remy's bodysuit, she thinks she's starting to know what it must feel like to be Hawkeye or Black Widow. Both the good and the bad of it. The sniper hits his target. He thinks he's won, but Marissa whips around and starts firing off rounds, while thanking the suit and promising never to make fun of it again. She turns and is met by a fist, a strong fist. Warhawk has Marissa cornered. He offers her a quick death out of respect for her abilities. She refuses and tries to put some rounds in him. Warhawk easily disarms her, turning her around and grabbing her gun, all while telling her he was better than her even before he was enhanced. But he really likes the suit. Once she no longer needs it, he's sure he can find a profitable use for it. Warhawk fires the gun into her back. The bullet bounces right off the suit, and Marissa tries to counterattack, but she's no match for him. Warhawk wants to know where the Cajun is, and if he has another suit for himself. Shameful letting the woman do all the turning around and running. Warhawk realizes that she's just a diversion and tells the men to deal with her, but don't use guns. She's wearing armor. This has to be hand to hand.
So the fight is on. Marissa jumps down. She starts taking out dudes left and right, and she doesn't see this sniper that's perched up above, and the sniper takes a shot and hits her. And it was really cool because in this moment she says that wearing the body armor, she kind of thinks she understands how it feels to be like Hawkeye or Black Widow. Obviously two heroes that don't have any special powers and have to rely on their wits and their instincts and their training to even survive in this crazy world of superheroism.
Alright, Avengers, while you're assembled, we'll be over here fighting the 5 people that thought Thanos was right.
The sniper thinks he hits his target. He's like, yes! But she whips around and just starts unloading bullets. And she just gets a punch right to the face. And it's Warhawk. So Warhawk offers her a quick death. She refuses. She starts doing some moves. He quickly disarms her, has her gun, and shoots her in the back. It doesn't work because the suit repels the bullet. She tries to counterattack. She just can't. And he's making some comments about the suit itself. And then he brings up Gambit. He wonders if the Cajun has another suit like that. But then he's like, it's really sad him making the girl do all the, oh crap, this is a diversion. And he just takes off running because he knows that he's been tricked, that she was sent out here to do all this work, and he's in the mansion right now trying to rescue Ro and the mom. Warhawk tells his guys, hey, don't use any guns. She's wearing armor. You guys got to do this by hand. Have fun. So inside the mansion, we see everybody's been taken out. Gambit has cleaned house. He goes into the room where Solarz, Ro and Gabriella are, and he confronts Solarz. See, Gambit feels very deeply about his friends because his friends are his family, and he doesn't take too kindly to them being roughed up, kidnapped, or, let's say, killed. And he looks at Ro and Gabriella, and he notices they're out. And he looks back to Solarz, and he says, they better be sleeping, or this situation between us is going to go from bad to worse. Solarz has this little shitty look on his face because he knows behind Gambit is Warhawk. And they start fighting, and Gambit's being his hilarious self. He's like, you tried to throw a truck at us, man. And he's jumping through the air, and he's throwing his cards. He's like, but you missed. I don't miss.
Warhawk doesn't even have a scratch on him from Gambit's attack. He picks up a giant piece of concrete from the detonated walls and throws it right at the helpless Ro and Gabriella. He can play the diversion game too. Gambit destroys the concrete, taking his eyes off of Warhawk. Warhawk hits Gambit from behind, telling him his fancy suit couldn't save his girlfriend, and if this is the best your powers can do, you won't fare any better. Gambit is hurled through the air and readies his cards. He tells Warhawk that fights are just like life, full of surprises. Gambit leaps back into action, pulling his staff out while a barrage of cards explode around Warhawk. It's time to go old-fashioned. Solarz reaches for a gun. He thinks they've forgotten about him. Gambit swiftly dodges an attack, hitting Warhawk full force in the stomach. This doubles him over. He grips the staff tightly and swings for the fences, connecting to Warhawk's face, wishing him a happy landing. Solarz tells Gambit none of what he just did matters. The old woman and the girl are gonna die. The next page takes place in a single moment in time, outside the perspective of the players at hand. Gambit landing the final blow on Warhawk before he tries to help Ro, Warhawk knowing there's nothing he can do to avoid this hit. Marissa in her final moment of her victory, Solarz praying for just a few more seconds. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, this is when things get weird. Gabriella and Ro are looking at their prone selves about to be killed. Ro asks Ashake, what is this? This is your moment of choice and truth. All of them are now inside the spectral realm. Gambit's looking at Ro, asking her if she's doing this. Warhawk believing he's gone mad. Solarz is in disbelief. There's nothing she can do. She's too late to stop him. She's dead. For Ro, this is simple. Her friends are in danger and need her help, and only she can save them. No time for thought, only action. Wishing she could strike down her enemies, she feels the lightning coursing through her veins, and it feels effortless. She hears lightning and thunder erupt from her hands, and wind to clear the stench. But best of all, she feels rain. Rain to wash the souls clean, to send them back where they all belong. She's never felt such glory. After all is said and done, the group is happy to celebrate their victory, but they also have to figure out what's next. Gabrielle asks Marissa if she enjoys being a superhero. Marissa hasn't felt this good in a while. She guesses Gambit would like his suit returned, but he tells her that he knows where he can get one for her own. But this isn't just a suit we're talking about, it's the life that goes with it. You cross that, there's no going back. Gambit notices Ro sitting alone. He asks if she's okay. She says yeah, why wouldn't she be? Stupid grown-ups and their stupid flings. Gambit looks at Ro and tells her, Marissa is a friend, but you're my partner. Don't ever forget that. A picture of Gambit is shown to a burned Solarz, and he tells the person that yeah, that's him. He travels with a local ex-marine and a young girl. They did this to me, and if you're on their trail, I want in. But be warned, they have superpowers. Is that a problem? The woman says not at all. I like challenges. Serve me well and you will be rewarded. Just remember, in the end, the outcome remains unchanged. Bounty always claims her prey.
Gambit's throwing cards all over the place. They're detonating. Concrete's flying everywhere. Warhawk does not have a scratch on him. And, in fact, picks up one of the pieces of concrete and throws it at Ro and Gabriella just to use that as a distraction, because when Gambit goes to detonate it and destroy it, that's when Warhawk just grabs him and starts running and just hurling him all over the place. And while Warhawk's messing him up, he tells him, your fancy little suit didn't save your girlfriend. And if this is all your superpowers can do, this isn't gonna fare well for you either. So Warhawk throws him, Gambit readies his cards, and he tells him, fights are just like life. They're full of surprises. Gambit jumps back in, he starts pulling out the old staff and he's throwing cards all over the place. Solarz at that moment doesn't really think anybody notices him, so he reaches for his gun. Gambit dodges the attack, hits Warhawk right in the stomach and it doubles him over. And then he hauls back, dude, and cracks him in the face baseball style. And he wishes him a good landing. Solarz tells Gambit that none of what you did matters because the old woman and the girl are gonna die. So the next pages were really cool. They showed this from a perspective in a moment of time. And it shows all of the players. It shows Gambit landing the final blow, Warhawk not being able to block it and just take it, Solarz praying to whatever deity he prays to for just a couple extra seconds, Marissa, in her final moment of victory, she beat the guys outside. Just as Solarz is about to pull the trigger, this is when things get weird. Gabriella and Ro are in the spectral world and they're looking at their prone self about to die. Ro asks Ashake, what is this? And she tells him this is your moment of choice and truth. So all of them are in the spectral realm right now. Gambit's kind of looking around and he sees Ro and he's like, you doing this? And Warhawk's just going crazy. He doesn't believe what's going on. And Marissa's coming in and she sees her mother in the spectral realm. It's kind of crazy. And Solarz is like just in total disbelief. He's like, there's nothing she could do. She's already dead. For Ro, this is simple. She has to save her friends. She's the only one who can do it. She's wishing that her enemies could be struck down. She has no time for thought, only action. And then everything starts to go crazy. She starts channeling this electricity and thunder through her hands. And people are getting sizzled. And she channels wind for the stench. And then the rain. And she feels really good about the rain. And it's basically, she says, to wash away the souls to where they need to go. The hell out of here. This says that she's never felt such glory, but basically this was her moment. This was the aha moment, but she doesn't really know how it happened. It just did. She knew she had to save her friends, and her powers are now coming into play to where she's going to be able to manipulate them on a grand scale, and it's really, really awesome. So after all is said and done, they're celebrating their victory, but they also have to talk about what's going to happen next, where they're going to go. Gabriella asks Marissa, do you like being a superhero? She says she hasn't felt this good in a while. She goes over to Gambit and says, I'm guessing you're going to want your suit back. And he says, I know someone that can get one just for you. But we're not just talking about the suit here. It's the whole lifestyle that goes with that suit. Once you're in, you can't get out of it. This is a life that you have to make a commitment to. And once you do, everybody else is at risk. Your family, everybody. And Gambit notices Rose sitting over there by herself, and it's like kind of weird because they just had this big victory. And he asks her if she's okay, and she's like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? But under her breath, she's like, stupid grown-ups and their stupid flings. She's jealous. But Gambit reminds her, says, hey, Marissa is a friend, but you're my partner. Don't ever forget that. I thought that was great, man. This was a really good chapter, and it was just put together by that moment right there. Everything that she did. I know there's things in other books that kind of happen like this, but those characters are pretty major characters, and to see them bond like this at this time, and she's young, it's really, really cool. So then it goes to the end, and a picture of Gambit is shown to Solarz, and he's all burned up, and he says, yeah, that's him. He travels with a ex-local Marine and a young girl. They did this to me, and they hurt my business. And if you're on the trail, I want in. But they have superpowers. Is that going to be a problem? The woman says, no, not at all. I like challenges, and you serve me well, you will be rewarded. But just remember, in the end, the outcome goes unchanged. Bounty always claims her prey. And that's where this ends. I thought this issue was really, really good. There was tons of action. We got to see Gambit and Marissa build that relationship that they went from an emotional part after being attacked to where they go on the offensive, and they've built up a cool chemistry. I'm really excited to kind of see if they go with like Marissa, Gambit, and Ro as the action squad, but the mother, Gabriella, could be the one that patches them up and maybe helps them along the way. I don't know. I doubt she'll be in it, but that would be cool. That would be kind of neat. They have their own little posse there, and she could help them. It would be neat. But I loved this, man. The whole scene with them in the spectral world was awesome. Like Ro affecting everything real slow, and Solarz like she's nothing she could do. She's dead. No, this can't be happening. And I thought that was pretty awesome. I give the story out of this one. I loved this one. This is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. The art is the only thing. It's okay. It's not great. It's not great art. But the story is so good to me that the art doesn't have to be fantastic. If this had like an amazing artist on it, it would bring everything up so high. It would probably be, 5 out of 5 for both. Just because the story is good, but sometimes the art in it doesn't accentuate the story as well. I know that's a small part, but it can play a huge part in it if it's done well. So, guys, next time on Laps Comic Fan, we're doing Dark Crisis number 7. It's out. It's over. The Dark Crisis has come to an end. What does this mean for the DCU going forward? They're hyping this up as like, this is what's going to bring the DCU into 2023. So what is it going to do? What's going to be the end? What's going to happen with Nightwing? What's going to happen with the Infinite Earths? What's going to happen with the Justice League? If the Infinite Earths go bye-bye, do the Justice League go bye-bye? We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we kind of know because it's, DC, but they could totally surprise us. I highly doubt it, but who knows? Remember, guys, Christmas night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, in the chat. Be there for the live stream, guys. I hope that you will. I really do, guys. It would be awesome to have some people in the live stream. But if not, it's okay. I understand. It's Christmas. That's why I said I would do it later on at the nighttime. Hopefully you're winding down. If you guys want to hang out with me and chat, I answer almost every chat that, unless there's like a shit ton of people in there, which there never is. But I answer every chat that anybody puts in there. So if you'd like to talk to me and have some fun and talk Christmas and open up some presents with me, it'll be a lot of fun, guys. So have a good night. Peace.